Yeah, that's a nice camera though. Like I'm actually able to see my facial hair.
Yeah, that's as wide as the screen is. Well, also it's kind of like shrunken in, so it looks better than it really is.
You're gonna cut all this out, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, because I wanted to have it so that we're already talking, and I just kind of fade it in, and then I say, "Hey, welcome to this podcast," but I'm not actually going to say that, so I don't know how to introduce it.
Welcome to this podcast.
Utter nonsense.
By me.
What are we going to call it?
And let's call it utter nonsense. The Utter Nonsense Podcast.
Welcome to this
Three
podcast about
assholes.
three barely Irish.
With three of the four barely Irish assholes.
Welcome to
Yeah, you want to introduce it like that?
I think we already did. I'm John,
I'm CJ.
and that's Paris.
I'm the black one.
Our token black guy.
Yeah. So a little bit about ourselves. We're all in mass comm, right? We're all in telecom.
I think so.
He wants.
poli-sci.
Yeah. I want to be a voice actor. What about you?
Filmmaker.
Yep.
Filmmaker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they can put me in their films. I'll do voiceovers.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between podcasts and radio? What sets it apart?
Well, I know what a podcast is, and I know what a radio is.
You know what a radio is, or you know what a radio broadcast is.
I know what both are.
Okay.
I've only listened to half of one.
So I'd say with a radio broadcast, it's more lodged in traditional media. You know, it's very much a slowly declining form of media. Not to say that it's dead, not to say that it's going to be dead anytime soon.
I don't think radio is going to die anytime soon. Honestly.
Well, I think it's got a few decades left, at least. But
decades.
That's it.
I don't know. I feel like radio.
Are you talking about primary radio or talk radio?
I'm talking about primary radio. Or talk radio, I guess.
I think both are going to be fine for a long
I
time.
think as long as people have nothing to do
Like-
in the car, it'll be around.
Yeah, we still got cars and stuff. And it's like sure nowadays you can probably just like pop
with
your music or
podcasts,
whatever.
we talk all the time about how asynchronous media is sort of dominating the airwaves. You know,
Yeah.
You love to see Netflix because you can watch it whenever time you want. You love to see. Give me an example.
House of Cards?
YouTube.
Sure, YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's great. You can watch YouTube videos whenever you want.
YouTube,
No scheduled
Netflix,
broadcasts.
Hulu, Amazon Video.
But that's the same thing with radio shows and podcasts. And radio shows, like more of the older hosts, are doing a good job of, transitioning onto a digital
And
platform.
radio shows are more scheduled than podcasts, right? Podcasts.
It depends on the podcast.
Well, here's what I find. Podcasts, some of them, they do it live, and they'll be at a set time, but you can always go back and watch or listen to it anytime you want, which is, I feel like, kind of akin to with web video and TV. People want to watch what they want to watch when they want to watch it.
Podcasts, too, don't necessarily have to be live. You can make some...
They don't have censors.
Yeah.
And radio is kind of like, it
Radio,
happens.
it's a lot more stringent.
You can record radio, but it's not like...
Yeah.
That has to be like from the source, I believe, right?
Well, imagine... I'm not as familiar with the format of radio, but I'm assuming they probably record and replay talk segments.
Yeah, probably the same thing. Like, if they can play songs repeatedly, then I'm sure it's like the same.
Yeah, especially if it's their own media, it would make sense that they would try to use it as
In
much
case you missed it, or this morning at 8 o'clock.
No.
Plus, you got all these people on YouTube who are doing their own podcasts. The HD podcast,
Drunk
Official
Dozens,
podcast,
Joe Rogan.
them. Who else? Joe Schmoes.
Everyone.
Batman on Batman.
Fucking Kevin Smith. Had to mention the Jersey thing.
Even Bill Burr. He has a podcast.
Does it?
And I know none.
Yeah, a lot. Opie and Anthony.
Well,
Every comedian's getting their own podcast.
Well, it's not hard to start a podcast. I'm kind of pissed off that Penn Jillette hasn't done anything with that in a while.
They should do a bullshit podcast.
Well, so he's done like a few different like YouTube segments. He's had a few different channels of his own that he's broadcast to, and every time he just shuts it down for so he does this segment called Penn Sunday Show, but he does it so rarely that you never know when it's going to come on, and he never saves them, so you can never watch them again.
That sucks.
Yeah, I know. And he's like one of my favorite comedian personalities,
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Never
met him. I met him twice, actually.
Twice?
Yeah, really nice guy. I've seen Penn and Teller twice, so met him both times.
Yeah. So more or less with podcasts, if you're like anyone of even minor popularity and you have something to say and you put it out there, people will probably listen to it. But I don't think anyone knows us, so who knows who's listening to this besides us?
teacher.
Maybe. By the way, we're talking about usually entertainment-related things, sometimes nonsense.
Usually nonsense.
Mostly nonsense.
Yeah.
Utter nonsense.
So what's our first thing? Flash or Star Wars?
Let's talk Star Wars.
So, we know that Episode 8 is coming, and the trailer came out for The Last Jedi. And the main thing the whole trailer hinged on was to hear Luke Skywalker, the protagonist of the series, say,
"It's time for the Jedi to end."
Right? That's what he said.
I think that's more or less
The Jedi must come to it.
I mean, seriously, how perfect of a title is The Last Jedi? Like, it raises
Someone's
so
gonna
many
die.
questions.
I almost feel like it's
Is
slightly
it?
redundant, though, because Episode
Well-
6 was Return of the Jedi. They just came back, now they're leaving?
Well, I mean, this is like, what,
Well, it's
30
a-
years after the fact? 40?
30?
50?
I thought it was more than that.
It's 30.
30?
30?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was right.
It looked
in my
like older
brain,
than
yes.
30.
Yeah, Luke really
Well, because
aged well.
it's been about 30-something years since Return of the Jedi.
Well, Luke was like...
Yeah, Luke was like 20 at the time. He's now like 70, so maybe it is.
Wait, what?
No, he's not.
Yeah, it's more...
I'm
Well,
pretty
in real
sure.
life- in real
I'm
life.
pretty sure he's 70 in real life. I mean, he was like
It's
30
not.
at the time.
Let's find out right now. Mark Hamill...
78,
65.
Okay, so I was close. Still older.
Okay, he looks a lot younger here. They made him look older in Star Wars.
Yeah, they'll give him a
I mean, it's the beard.
Yeah,
you know, I think
beard.
beard's an issue. Like, literally everyone I know thinks I'm at least 22, you know?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
what do we think? Why did the Jedi have to end?
Luke Skywalker's lazy.
So,
That's
I
one
mean,
theory.
I think the actual film will reveal a lot more, but I'm guessing, first of all, The Last Jedi could apply to essentially anyone. Like, Jedi is a plural term, like, it could apply to just this generation, you know?
Well, maybe it'll be like a Yoda thing. He'll teach her, then just fade away.
I mean, I don't think Luke's gonna die. I think everyone expects him to die.
I
It'll just be, yeah, exactly. I think everyone's expecting it to be an Empire clone, but I don't know. I see it as too obvious. You know, I feel like filmmakers, I feel like guys like J.J. Abrams would try to suspend our expectations in that regard.
If he dies, I feel like they'll at least have to mix it up or something, or I don't know. Make him die.
Yeah,
Make him die in a way that makes him say, "I was wrong," or I don't know. The Jedi are alive and well; they will live on through you. Or I don't know.
I have a different...
My thought is, and you probably are thinking the same thing. My thought is that he essentially is saying the Jedi must end so that something new can be born. The traditions are what must end,
True.
so that the Force can live on. You know,
The Force will be with you always.
But basically, here's what I think.
So-
And it kind of goes along with that. So, because I've seen a lot of things, there was like, what do they call the old publications now? Legends? Yeah, I think they call it Legends.
okay,
Or Extended Universe, whatever.
Okay.
A lot of stuff about how Luke went searching for Jedi secrets, after Return of the Jedi. So what I think, especially because
He just learned
we
like
see-
the corrupt past or something.
Well,
yeah, we see with the
Doesn't
Knights
deserve
of Ren, whatever that is. We know he started training a group of new Jedi, but that it didn't work out,
wasn't
and
it
then he
like
exiled himself.
wasn't it like Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Princess Leia's son was
Yeah,
the
he
one who
turned-
called?
Yeah, Kylo Ren.
He's the one who calls.
So
He's essentially the new Darth Vader. Yeah.
and he's the one who caused like that trouble in that group he tried to
So
teach.
the reason for this, I think, is because the Jedi, all their customs are very polarizing. Like it's either you're completely
Good.
detached from emotions,
Mhm.
or you're just on the dark side. And I think
Well-
what Luke's perspective is that we can't have it be like this anymore. You can't have two extremes. Remember what Obi-Wan said?
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's actually a really good point. So it kind of goes back to what I said earlier. Just the notion of good and evil in storytelling is sort of a dying concept. It's sort of this idea that, I don't know, the world isn't black and white, Like,
It's gray,
yeah,
like a gray Jedi,
You know what?
which is a thing.
Here's what I think.
a gray Jedi's thing.
It's a Jedi that leaves the Order and seeks out studies on their own.
Okay.
Like they're not fully dark side. They embrace basically knowledge from all aspects of the Force,
Sure.
and
So-
they're their own free agent. So I think he's going to go more along the lines of that. That
Makes
we
sense.
need to learn everything we can about the Force and then find a balance rather than.
So he's like the opposite of Xehanort from Kingdom Hearts.
I'm not as familiar with
I'll take your
words, but I believe you. Yeah, I believe you. That's probably good.
Yeah,
comparison.
now I feel like the odd man out. I was hoping maybe I knew that. Well, what I was gonna say was, I think that maybe what they're gonna probably do, while also saying like your theory. I was saying like, hey, we need something new because Jedi's like the old ways are kind of stupid. Right. I think it's gonna probably like build up to like maybe what's the name of the main character? Ren.
Kylo Ren.
Rey.
Oh, Rey. Yeah.
Rey. Build up to Rey dating the black guy.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
No, because Jedi aren't allowed to love. So what if this new way?
The new way will allow it.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
It was kind of weird though, because they hinted that they might have a thing in The Force Awakens, but then
that's what will kickstart episode 10 when she turns evil.
Yeah, but he got like his back all messed up by the lightsaber, so isn't he a paraplegic now?
Who? John Boyega or
Finn?
Finn, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what happened? I remember that happened, but I don't know that he got like
something. I don't know. It's been like nearly a year since I don't remember like
he walked at the end. I'm sure because like
no, he didn't. He was just like.
Well, I mean, we see him in like a cryopod. We see him healing like in the trailer for Last Jedi. So
all I remember
it's only on there for like half a second. But
I thought it was him in one of the ships. Like he was piloting it and just had his eyes closed.
No, I'm pretty sure it's him like in some sort of stasis.
That would make more sense,
right? Yeah.
I remember from like the ending of that movie after I don't know they got separated by an avalanche or whatever, or the glaciers the world breaking apart. I just remember the part when R2-D2 just came up with the map to Luke Skywalker, and I was like, "You had this the whole time."
Yeah, what the fuck?
Why didn't no one hack this robot?
Got it.
You expect me to believe with this future technology and this robot sleeping, like no one's like, "Yo, let's just like I don't know, data mine him."
Yeah.
There was a lot of
it's a digital brain, you know. They could just transform onto a new R2 unit, right?
There was nothing wrong with R2-D2. He just chose to be asleep because he was depressed that Luke Skywalker was gone. But he knew where he was. I don't know. We'll probably get a reason. Maybe Luke Skywalker say, "Hey, don't do that."
Maybe they'll make an entire movie off of it.
Yeah. There were a lot of holes.
He probably is gonna say like, "Hey, I told you not to. Don't tell them where I am." R2. I don't know because R2 was like his pal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I'm just hoping that when it comes out, it fills in a lot of the cracks from The Force Awakens and kind of puts it all in context.
Yeah, the reason would be
another Empire. Like, Empire is my favorite Star Wars film to date. New ones, prequels, original series included. But I'm really hoping they break from the original. Like, the biggest criticism that I had, and the biggest criticism that I think most Star Wars fans had about Force Awakens was that it was a carbon copy of the original Star Wars. It's very much like the whole J.J. Abrams member berries.
Oh, my mom hated that because that was the first thing I said when we walked out of the movie theater. I was like, that was just A New Hope again, because like I was taking note.
That's not really a bad thing. You know?
It wasn't. But I was taking note. Like when they mentioned like the new Death Star, I was like, what? And then they were on a desert planet.
They copied like the scenes too. Like they're all around. Talking about how we're gonna blow up the Death Star.
Yeah, then the part they blew up a planet. Was that in New Hope or what? That was when they
they blew up Alderaan. Now they blew up 4 planets. And that was the one thing. You don't know anything about the planets. You don't know anyone on them. Nobody gives a shit.
We just know that someone lived there.
Yeah. And you sort of see it's like what's the one planet?
I thought it was Coruscant. The one.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, fun fact. Did they show a close up of some woman? Like showing her reaction in that, and she currently plays one of the characters in Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool segue into the Flash.
The guy who played Matt Parkman in Heroes.
He was there.
Close friend of J.J. Abrams, actually. So that's why he had the cameo appearance in the actual boardroom when they were planning to blow up.
I half expected him to start trying to read people's minds and do it.
Yeah. Admittedly, he was like one of my favorite characters from Heroes, which is why Heroes Reborn pissed the fuck out of me.
I think
didn't they make him a bad guy?
They made him a bad guy, yeah.
I think the only
they tried to redeem him, but they basically made him just the biggest douchebag imaginable.
I think the only maybe Heroes TV show I've seen was probably Smallville, and I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, no, I was pretty much on and off about it, and I think we talked about this a while.
We did.
How your mom said she was going to watch it.
She was going to watch it so he would fly.
Yeah, and he flies at the very last episode.
I told her at the beginning. Apparently, when I was 6.
Didn't it go for 11 seasons? Or something?
And it ended in 2010, right, or 11. Something like that.
11, and then they continued it in a comic series called Season 11.
Oh my god!
And they still started making stupid changes. Like they brought in Batman, and they had Nightwing with him, but Nightwing was Barbara Gordon.
What?
Why?
Wait, I thought Nightwing was the first Robin.
Yeah, it is Dick Grayson.
But because it's Smallville and they have to change things, they just continue having a comic.
Because it's Smallville, I don't know.
And what's scary is that's probably like the best Superman portrayal of the last 20 years.
Was that? I thought it was the only one.
Well, there's Henry Cavill.
I know.
Yeah,
I'll just
gotcha.
But
Henry Cavill's
he hasn't.
he's a
really
good
changed.
Superman.
I mean, he's not awful, but it's fun to make fun of him.
My complaint: they don't let him talk enough in the movies.
Okay.
my favorite Superman was obviously the one when you were like he had the vision to rebuild walls. What was that?
George Reeves?
I mean Christopher Reeves.
No, I think what he's talking about is from the old TV show.
No, it was like a movie. It was like a movie. It was like a. I just remember at one point he was like in space at one point fighting some guy. I just remember there was at one point he used like his vision to rebuild a wall.
Just this further proves how much I love to hate Superman.
I just love that.
He
That's my favorite
just
Superman.
throughout his entire history, there's been so many cheesy powers that he's had that they've basically just written out over time.
I mean, hey, look at
Because
us.
he's whatever he needs to be.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's super.
And
He's super.
He's super. Yeah, but there's and this is like one of the biggest problems I had with like the.
How is Batman different though? Batman always has the tools to get anything done.
Remember Adam?
They're
West
two
Batman?
sides of the same coin.
Adam West Batman, best Batman.
Yeah, but Batman never, reversed time by violating the laws of physics.
I mean, that's right. That's right. That's a Superman. That's a Superman.
Whenever I
movie
point that
I
out to
love.
people who like love the old movie, they're like,
Remember that time
"This is
Superman?
dumb." And I'm like,
Remember that
"Yeah,
time
it is."
Superman flew out into space and
And
spun
get
the
your-
planet around? And,
Yep.
That's
Reverse
the
time.
that's
by
the
2
one I'm
days.
thinking of. What was that one called?
That was. I
That's
think
the
that
first
was.
one.
Yeah,
That's the first
Superman
one.
You know what's funny?
Christopher Reeve. Yeah.
That must be the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Definitely.
What's funny is Richard Donner. He was also going to direct Superman 2,
Mhm.
but they let him go.
Yeah. Didn't he direct
halfway
like
through.
10 minutes of the final film?
Yeah, so there's a DVD out there, Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, and in it, he does the same damn thing at the end. He flies around and reverses time.
Sweet.
I don't remember why, but he does it.
I mean, why not? If I could do that, I'd do it all the time. Like, oh dang, I was late to work.
I got a 70 on my test. I wanted an 85.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Exactly.
Well, if you could reverse time,
Man,
like
I wish
basically
I
there's
did.
no real world consequences,
Like, dang, I really
Unlike
wish
The
I
Flash.
didn't do that thing.
Which we should
Yeah,
talk
because
about.
you fuck up the Flash. Okay, whatever.
He travels back in time a lot,
Yeah,
apparently.
don't travel back in time, Barry, but travel back in time.
Don't do
That's when you
it, but don't do it. But
Also, the
Yeah.
bad guys can do it as much as they want, and they'll be fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
so I know you don't watch it as much, but
Nope.
that's basically like the biggest cliche in the entire thing. Like he can essentially travel back in time, but every time he does it, it has disastrous consequences.
whatever you do,
But for whatever
travel back
reason,
in time.
he's fought against 3 different speedsters, and anytime any of them have traveled back in time, it has no consequences whatsoever.
Because they're doing it wrong.
Apparently. Apparently.
Everyone knows the
They
right way
explain
to
it
time
away
travel was
with
the
the time raids that come after
Well,
them.
that's shit.
Because in Legends of Tomorrow this season, Reverse Flash, he's in it,
Mhm.
and you know what happens to Zoom at the end of season 2?
I've
Wait,
heard some things. I know he
is reverse Flash like a slow drunk?
He's the reverse shadow. But yeah, so Eobard Thawne, he's in Legends of Tomorrow, and the creature you see Zoom become at the end of season 2, he actually comes after him, but they managed to avoid him. So still no consequences.
Okay.
You decided to go the
Just
other way.
the concept of Speed Force I find ridiculous.
It's their plot glue. Whenever
Yeah, I
something
know,
makes no
exactly.
scientific sense, they'll
It's
say,
the Speed Force. It's
holding
the
it
Speed
together.
Force. The Speed
So
Force, magical force that science
so-
can't explain.
So it's kind of like
It's the Speed
a
Force.
Metal Gear Solid with nanomachines.
Pretty much. Nanomachines, son.
Nanomachines.
It's like whenever it's something about time travel, it's like, but even if he did that, wouldn't that mean this still would have happened? Wouldn't that mean they still would have been there?
I mean,
And guess what? Speed Force.
Yeah, just
Speed Force.
Yep.
Speed.
Force.
You're too
Yep.
fast for that.
But if he ran that fast, he'd just obliterate all the air particles and
was
create a
Speed Force.
nuclear explosion. That's
Speed Force.
Honestly, I don't think science is the first thing on people's minds when they watch a CW show.
Probably not.
It would be on my mind, so I can have a better way to criticize it.
Barry, what you're seeing is the Speed Force. Your past, your present, your future, all at once. So you need to focus on where you want to go.
Who's Savitar? For those who are watching season 3,
Avatar?
the episode just aired tonight. We didn't get to see it, so we're talking about that.
Yeah, so,
I heard that Flash turns evil or something.
So I mean, there's
That's
so
a
many theories, but
one of the theories is that he's Flash from the future. But
yeah. So the
That's
brief
wrong.
recap from last week. I'm just assuming people have seen the rest of season 3. So basically, Savitar. So the Flash travels to the future to essentially find out Savitar's secret identity so he can stop him in the past, because somehow finding out his secret identity, I guess, makes him vulnerable.
And then
right?
Professor tells
whatever.
him.
But
Then Professor tells him they went too far and they had to go back.
No, but okay, so goes to the future, tries to find that, meets his future self. Future self doesn't know who Savitar is, and his future wife ends up dying no matter what.
But he does say that they have a box that they can throw
other
in.
people, I guess. Date other people, I guess.
You know,
If
that
it's
would be the good solution.
It is no matter what. And it's
But
like,
that was
what's
the thing. He has Patty from season 2.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just run to
I mean, who's
never
Patty?
happened. They
had a relationship. In the
it was
previous
such a
season.
brief thing.
What's Barry's last name again?
Alan.
Patty Allen? I don't know.
I don't know. It has a certain ring to it.
That's better than Iris West Allen.
Iris West Allen?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got me there.
Okay.
It's Patty inside the
Okay, so it essentially ends.
Oh! That would be great.
Because he ended up like she wanted him to tell her that he was the Flash and he wouldn't, so she had to trick him to find out. So she's like, "Now I'll get my revenge. I'll show you."
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That would be a
Okay.
great plot twist.
So essentially, the episode ends with Caitlin Snow as Killer Frost, essentially forming an alliance with Savitar in our time.
Yeah, she seeks him out because she wants she
wants
has a
to-
split personality and she wants to get rid of one of them. So when she's Killer
So,
Frost, she wants to get rid of.
So Savitar essentially wants to make Killer Frost come out.
So
And, the way he gains her trust is by taking off a suit. We don't see his face. We have no idea who it is, but just her reaction. Reaction that she knows who this guy is. She knows that she can trust
It's
him.
going to be someone that no one knows.
I see. So
It is
really-
me, your teacher from your first grade class.
I will say, my brother.
It could be
watched
her
it.
father or something, you know?
It's
like-
me.
That was my one guess, but have we ever seen him?
No, we've seen the mom, and mom's a kind of bitch. you
Plot
know?
twist. Mom
Yeah.
has become a butch lesbian, and that's why she looks like a man.
She's trans. I ran so far into the Speed Force. I ran past my own gender and went to the other one.
But mom, how are you?
Fuck, Barry.
Mom, how are you a man now?
No, that's the mom's secret the whole time. I was really your dad.
Oh,
That's why I was never around.
Oh, dude. So, Flash theories. Who is Savitar?
I will say my brother.
Alan's mom.
Definitely not. My brother has been watching it. He told me that it's pretty obvious if you've been paying attention, but I haven't been paying attention at
It's
all.
not
pretty
obvious
obvious.
because I have been paying attention, and
Now, if your brother's wrong,
and there's so many
Well,
conflicting
he watched
theories on the subject.
So he
that-
knows who it is.
he cheated.
There's so many conflicting theories on the subject that it's not obvious, you know. So the one thought that just occurred to me, it could be someone from Flashpoint. Like, it could be like
Yellow
someone
guy.
that Barry essentially ended as a result of Flashpoint.
Yellow guy.
It's not
Oh, Reverse Flash or Kid Flash?
Eobard Thawne. He's talking about Eobard Thawne. Yeah,
I
Reverse
got
Flash.
it. It's Bizarro.
Okay, so
Is Bizarro and Supergirl?
I have no idea. I'm following.
Supergirl and Flash did a crossover. I do remember.
There's
hearing
been a
that.
few crossovers between.
Then it's
Let's
someone
not
from
talk
Super-
about that.
Oh.
Yeah, let's not.
They weren't good?
It was-
well, the early one. I think the first one they did was decent, but just the musical was
It
completely
was a
unknown.
musical episode, and
And
they come up with some hackney way for it to happen.
and
Like,
it was completely canonical too. Like, it played into the plot perfectly.
Why did they have a musical?
because
'cause they
they went up against the music master, or
Of
the
course.
music maestro,
Musical
Of course.
Meister.
and he says, "You must play out this musical film in order to escape."
That wasn't even like the best portrayal.
Was
of
it a
Music
comedy or was it just stupid?
Meister. I mean, it's the Flash, so
So
a
I'm-
little bit of both.
Think of your fellow man. Lend him a helping hand. Put a little love in your heart.
So
let's come to a consensus on who Savitar is.
I'm leaning towards Wally right now.
Savitar is going to be
Future Wally.
Future Wally.
Because that's one thing we didn't mention. He had a strong reaction.
Yeah,
He was
so
basically comatose.
we basically know with Wally that in the future, Wally essentially goes after Savitar after his sister's death, and whatever he sees scars him to the point that, first of all, he's completely paralyzed from the waist down, or it could be psychosomatic.
He got scarred.
It's really vague.
Well, he got scarred in the
I was gonna say it's a shame you can see he's a male, because what if he was Jesse? Because remember he said, "I have big plans for you."
Well, it's definitely not Jesse.
Damn.
Well, listen.
Well, I'm just assuming it's probably not
Here's
Jesse.
my
No,
theory.
it's not.
Okay, based on what we've told you.
So what you've told me is, it honestly can't be anyone related to him because they're all dead, or will be dead.
More or less.
And every female in his life is gone. I don't know anything about his father. His father is apparently probably
His father's dead.
His father's dead. His
His
mom's
father's
dead.
killed by the season 2.
Mom's dead. Father's dead. Everyone's dead.
Well,
So obviously can't be
both
related.
his parents are alive in Flashpoint.
Of course. So his parents are alive now.
Maybe. They're
Oh
not
my God.
alive.
Okay,
in
so
his current time.
So everyone's dead.
Basically, everyone's dead.
And was it from what I can tell, the Flash has no friends other than girls who are going to die eventually.
Yeah, basically.
That would be messed up if it was Henry Allen.
It could be like one of Henry Allen's alternative personalities, like one of his personalities from another universe, is
Jay Garrick.
Yeah, Jay Garrick.
So
yeah.
how are we
That
gonna
would be amazing.
how about we end this with actually watching the episode, watching the who it is.
Yeah, actually, you want to watch that tonight?
Just, not the whole episode, just like get to the part where we find out who it is.
We gotta watch
We can just
parts
Google
leading
it.
up to it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
No,
Well,
yeah.
I
I don't
want
wanna-
to see the episode. That makes no
That's
sense.
completely rude for me. Are you
Well,
kidding me?
So kind of close. Everyone who knows him is dead.
Yeah.
All right. So it obviously can't be anyone that this girl knows that we've met because everyone
So
we've
you're
met is
thinking
dead.
you're thinking it's her dad, or
I don't know who that is either. We haven't met.
Well,
him.
yeah,
It obviously has.
we
It has
don't know
to-
who the dad is.
I would
either,
imagine
but
it has
He
to be
did. He did say.
yeah.
Did you watch the trailer for the next episode? The one that
No,
out
I haven't.
tonight. Barry says that the whole time you've been playing all our fears, like each and every one of us, like what we're afraid of,
Oh
and
my
you know how
God,
to make
yeah,
it work
it's
against
Disney.
us.
I got it.
That's why I was saying
it's-
maybe it's a Wells, but that doesn't make any sense either.
See, yeah. So it obviously can't be anyone that is someone that he knows.
It's someone that
It's someone that everyone knows.
it's someone
But it
that
can-
knows all of them.
It's someone that knows all
I mean,
of
it
them,
could be
but
HR.
they know him.
I've
but
never
don't know.
trusted HR, but I don't think it's him.
So obviously, I putting all this together, I figured out who it could possibly be. Think about it. Barry's gone back in time. Do you think about the whole Speed Force thing?
Yeah.
Think of how much that may have caused some ripples or like changes in time.
Well, that's the whole thing
Savitar
with
does
Flash.
blame Barry for
exactly.
for something. He says, "I exist because of you for some reason." I don't know.
Exactly.
They always say it's like,
Well, it's
"You're
probably,
history."
it's probably because of Flashpoint that Savitar exists.
Exactly. So
right?
Savitar obviously
Yeah,
is
he
someone
said that.
If he's someone as a result of Flashpoint, then think about how like during Flashpoint things that happen, like for example, like say like a Batman's. Well, I don't know if Batman's in the
Well,
show.
this isn't.
There's no
part-
yeah, there's no Batman.
No, it's completely different. Like this Flashpoint has nothing to do with like.
This
comic
is
or
if
film
everyone
adaptations
didn't
of
exist except for Superman. And
Flashpoint. Honestly, Superman's not even part of this.
So Supergirl is. So
Well,
Super-
no,
No, he is.
Supergirl.
He's in Supergirl.
Yeah, but
and she's
Supergirl
in-
takes place in a different universe than Flash.
What?
She's already crossed over multiple
Yeah,
times.
but
So technically, he is in their extended world.
So exactly. So putting all that together,
No
It's-
Batman yet, though.
no Batman. It's quite obvious that it's going to be Sonic the Hedgehog.
all that build up. I thought you had a good theory.
No, I don't. I don't know much about it.
Fair
All I
enough.
know
What do you think?
I'm
John?
going with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Nanomachines.
Okay. Well, I'm still leaning towards Wally.
Okay.
Though you're making me think it might be Sonic the Hedgehog.
We'll find out soon and talk about
Next time.
Next time.
Next time on Utter Nonsense.
Somewhat nonsense.
Well, we didn't do an actual sign off.
Okay, what do you want to say?
But that was a sign off.
Yeah, I thought that was.
Is the sign off?
I thought that was.
No, I thought the sign off was this has been Utter Nonsense.
Somewhat nonsense.
Yeah, I guess that.
No, I like Utter Nonsense.
No. Oh, we did the same thing before. We did it this time too.